we have heard a lot of innovation, EV cars, green energies, the big data, everything. What life science is different? Life science really, innovation rely on science and technology advance. However, if I look at the life science, or particularly the vaccine in this field, we have to realizing the vaccine impact on everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, right, where you live. I mean, we had just the experience in the past 5 years, we have hit by this pandemic. No matter where you are, you cannot get away with the potential threat of the virus infection. Okay, so what innovation would take place? Anywhere? Yeah, it can be anywhere. But you just have technology, have science. It's not going to really help you in all. You need a system. You need somewhere start with innovation, but that innovation include the whole system, should be adaptive, should be systematic, should be scalable, should be transferable. There are multiple components relate to the science technology innovation. To me, I see the whole system has to be innovative, right? How you choose your local partner, how you get your vaccine to the field. I'll give you a perfect example. We have developed certain vaccines. In 2015, when there was an Ebola outbreak, we went to West Africa, realizing that place, you don't have electricity supply. Your vaccine, if you're deep freeze storage, there's no way you can deliver this vaccine to the impact people. You need to find a way to do it. No, I think there's a lot of components just beyond the science and technology itself. I see. The innovation will have to go beyond, thinking beyond it. Yeah.
Okay, you've mentioned your company works with platform technologies that can rapidly adapt to new public health needs. So how do these platforms can help shorten the development timeline while still ensuring safety, quality, and global regulatory compliance?
CanSino has its mission to develop high-quality, innovative vaccines at affordable cost. I think there are 3 keywords here: high quality, innovative, and the cost, right? So you think of that way, how you can get there. There's a foundation we need to lay out. That's what we call technology platforms. You develop technology platforms that allow you to quickly adapt to the situation you needed. I think that's something we really position ourselves. I think if I just talk about the concept, it's very difficult to understand. I may just give you an example. We developed this viral vector technology platforms that allow us to insert certain antigen genes into this viral vector that allow us to make multiple vaccines. So this technology started when we started working on the TB, tuberculosis vaccine. And it's a long shot taking TB vaccine to the market. Well, we developed this platform. It happened during these years. We had the Ebola outbreak. We had the COVID-19 outbreaks, the global pandemic. We quickly adapted this viral vector technology platform to develop new vaccines for Ebola, for COVID-19. I think if we look at the COVID-19 vaccine development, we're the world's first one get into the market, get into the clinical trials. We spent 56 days, started from the lab, synthesized gene, actually making all this preclinical tox studies and go through the regulatory approvals and inject into human body, 56 days. Now, if we hear globally, there's an organization called the SAPI talking about how we can develop a vaccine in 100 days. I think we have achieved it. To achieve those is based on our technology platform. Now we can, really rely on this platform to, adapt to any emergency situation that we can, quickly develop it. I mean, it doesn't really apply for everyone, but certainly give us ability of doing it. But that technology development takes time. We spend almost 10 years develop the viral vector, really maturelize this technology. We actually developed this mucosal immunization through inhalation to accompany with this technology. That's the delivery technology. Nowadays, we can see our technology actually starting making completely innovative vaccine candidates. While we're talking here, we have a clinical trial running in Indonesia using our viral vector technology developed for TB vaccine through inhalation. You breathe in this vaccine, you don't need to stick a needle in your arms. That actually much easier for people vaccinate. And the benefit is actually induce much stronger immune response because we not only induce antibody response, we also induce cell-mediated immune response. On top of those two, we actually induced mucosal immune response, that preventing the bugs getting into the body and will be more effective to actually block the infection. And I think this technology could be broadly applicable to other respiratory tract diseases. That's some innovation, some of the technology platform development benefit. Yeah.
Okay, so from science to global access, turning scientific breakthrough into the real practical benefits for humanity is a major challenge. Just like you said, taking the vaccine as example. So what does it take to scale innovation so that reaches not just high-income markets, but also countries with urgent unmet medical needs? What do you think of that?
As I said in the beginning, vaccine impact on everybody. As only one player, it's a very challenge. To go beyond the borders to really global market, we need to consider a few factors. How the product could be accessible, whether there's IP issues, there's any supply issues, whatever is accessible. We also have to understand the regulatory impact. And every vaccine is a highly regulated industry because it's used for most people, it's in healthy people. So each country has its policy, have its regulation. Of course, we can adapt in more like general WHO, ICH, and that's for sure we have to get there. But still, you have to go through all the regulatory hurdles. And for many countries, the vaccine it really is a public health issue. It's really purchased or guided by the government, how we build up the government relations. There are so many factors to be considered. And lastly, but it's also not the least, is how you build up local partnership. Just for ourselves, it's very difficult to access to everywhere. And I think for us is to thinking of different business models to build up local partnership that we can collaborate to roll out our vaccines, especially the high impact product. For example, another example, we are currently working on a viral-like particle polio. And people may know, we talk about the polio eradication for 30 years. I think WHO has this ambition to eradicate polio by 1984. But now it's 1925, 26. We're 30 years behind. The reason was, the polio vaccine, we have two forms. One is life attenuated polio vaccine, we call it OPV. That broadly being used, especially in the developing country. But that form of polio is a live virus, even it's attenuated, it actually in rare cases, it mutate. It spread into the environment. You can never really completely eradicating if there's a live virus in the environment. On the other side, we are making this inactivate the polio. We call it IPV. It's kill the virus. It's much safer, but making vaccine, you need a poliovirus. Still, it's a biocontainment risk. What we have done is develop this completely innovative polio vaccine. We don't need a live virus to make polio. Now we're running the clinical trials in Indonesia, phase 2. This is the world only one. But if we're thinking of supply globally, we need to make almost like 1 billion doses a year. That's a whole challenge. And particularly, we need to combine with other vaccines. So how to achieve it? So we work with global partners, multiple of them, to develop combo vaccines that include the VLP polio, that include the support also coming from WHO, from Gates Foundation, from multiple organizations, not just government, not just private industry. It's actually go much beyond. I think adding that complexity, really the innovation go beyond borders. We would like to transfer technology to somewhere they can make it locally. So it's easy access to certain regions, right? So that's very, to me, that's the technology, whether it's accessible, whether it's transferable, to be handled by the local. That's also all the considerations. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Yu, you mentioned that innovation alone isn't enough, and the trust, regulatory alliance, and local partnership are essential. So how do you build that trust with the government and communities while expanding into new regions?
It's very good you bring up this trust. It's a really, I heard, with previous speakers also talk about the trust build up. It takes time. Whenever there's a new technology, new players in the, in the field, people have the reasonable doubt. But I think the important is we have to do what we say. Mm-hmm. We have to demonstrate what we tell people, right? Using actually concrete scientific, judgment and the evidence. I think if we can, really persistently do whatever we say to build up that relationship, build up that trust, I think it will have the long-term benefit. I think this, for us, we had a good experience during the COVID pandemic. We roll out our vaccines in multiple countries, and our vaccines, the safety profile, we get feedback from the local. They are very highly pleased by our vaccines profile. So that will help us to gradually build up the trust, build up the relationship with local partners, with government, and also we open for all the regulatory assessment. Just give you an example. By last year, we had over 20 regulatory inspections by multiple countries, and we run clinical trials globally. So really, that's also gradually build up the relationship and the trust with each region, with your reputation. I think that's the effort you have to really put into and sincerely do whatever you say. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah.
Okay, and thank you for those insights. What we heard today is a powerful reminder that true global expansion in healthcare isn't just about technology, it's also about purpose, trust, and collaboration. And thank you again, Dr. Yu. And
thank you
for joining us.
Thanks.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Yeah.